Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Rare Minds Technology Workshop for Teachers. I am Vaishnavi and I am here to host today's event. Rare Minds is a team of industry experts, mentors, and trainers who have provided much needed enhancement in the education and corporate sector. Since 20 years, we work on various programs and customize them as per the needs identified for the institutions and corporates as well. Am I audible?
Yes, Vaishnavi, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Since 20 years, we work on various programs and customize them as per the needs identified for the institutions and corporates. We have collaborated with various schools in the past and also helped them in achieving their vision. Can we have the video, please? Thank you. As we now start with the workshop, I would like to set some ground rules in order to take forward the entire session in a smooth manner. I request you all to keep your mics muted at all times. Had we been in an offline environment, we would have had a face-to-face interaction, but since we are here online, I request you all to keep your videos on. And if you are not able to hear us at any point of time, kindly shift to a better network area or consider rejoining. Also, would be having a picture at the start in between the session, so I would request you all to keep the videos on. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you Ms. Neha Jain, who will be taking up this workshop today. Neha has done her engineering from IP University, Delhi in information technology. Post that, she has worked with Accenture for around 1.5 years and is a technical analyst there. She is now pursuing her MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Ranchi, and is currently associated with Rare Minds. Neha, the stage is all yours. Please take over.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for such a lovely introduction. So, good afternoon, all of you. I am Neha Jain from Rare Minds. I extend you a warm welcome from Rare Minds. So, today I would be taking up this workshop, Teacher Course Using Technology. So, the Teacher's Technology Workshop is basically designed to make you familiar with the different tools and teaching aids that can assist you with your virtual classrooms. Due to the pandemic in the picture, the education landscape has completely transformed from an offline model to an online medium. So here is a workshop that will guide you through all the tools where you can understand and see how it can help you in your virtual classes. As someone has rightly said, technology is the new chalk. So let's explore it together. In this workshop, I would be talking about various tools like Google Meet, Google Classroom, Kahoot, and finally, at the end, we would be doing a comparison of all the tools as to what are the different features that they offer us. So basically, you'll get to learn what to use, how to use, what are the additional features, and at the end, which tool do you want to choose. Moving ahead, Google Meet. So, some of you might have used Google Meet, but some of you might not have. But don't you worry. We'll start from the beginning as to what is a Google Meet. So, what is a Google Meet? Google Meet is a video communication service developed by Google. You can connect, collaborate, communicate from anywhere with the Google Meet. You can further share your presentations, your videos, and any file that is present in your laptop or desktop with your students as well as the management of the school. So, how do you start a Google Meet? Now here, there are two options to start a Google Meet. First of all, you need to open a browser. In the search bar, you can write Google Meet. Once you have written it and press enter, you can click on the first link that appears. The another option is you can directly type in the URL, that is https://meet.google.com. Once you press enter, you'll see this kind of a screen. Now, in this screen, as you can see in the bottom left corner, there's an option new meeting. So when you click on this new meeting, three options will appear. First one is create a meeting for later. So by this option, you can create a meeting for a later time period. Say for example, today in the evening at 6 p.m. The next one is for starting an instant meeting. That is, if you click on this option, you will start the Google Meet right away. The next one is schedule in Google Calendar. So with the help of this option, you can integrate your Google Meet with the Google Calendar. So we'll see what happens when you start a meeting right away. So when you start the meeting right away, the following screen would be displayed. Now, as you can see in the screen, there are so many options available. In the bottom left corner, there's an option meeting details. So what does meeting details tell us? So if you click on this option, there would be a meeting link. You can copy that link and send it to your students. By joining that link, your students can attend this Google Meet. Next, we move on to the audio part. Now, with the help of this button, you can either switch on your audio or switch off your audio. The next one is to end the call. If you press this button, you'll log out of this Google Meet. The next one is for video. It enables you to switch on or switch off your video as per your convenience. So this was pretty easy, but let's check on some of the enhanced features that Google Meet offers us. Say for example, this option. This is raise hand. So, for example, you're teaching in a class and there are many students in that class. You're delivering a lecture and one of the students has a doubt in between. So, what he can do, he can click on this button, raise hand. With this, you would be able to recognize that a certain student is willing to speak something and that is being done without interrupting the whole session. So, when someone raises their hands, it will appear on the right corner of your screen. Here. The next option is present now. So what does present now means? So if you click on present now, you can basically share the screen. You can either share some file, your presentations, or anything that is applicable in your desktop. Next one are the three vertical dots. Now when you click on these three vertical dots, there would be multiple options as it is shown in figure 2. That is whiteboard, change layout, full screen, change background, captions. Okay, I know that there are so many options and you might have got confused, but don't you worry, we'll explore them one by one. Moving on to the top right corner, there's this icon which is representing a person. So, and you can also see one written over it. So the number denotes the number of participants that are currently in this Google Meet. So when you are having a Google Meet with the students, the number will indicate the number of students that are currently a part of that meet. And If you click this button, you will get a list of all the students that are attending that class. The next one is for in-chat messages. When you are in a Google Meet, you can converse with students either verbally or by writing in the chat. The next one is the shape-like icon. If you press it, then you can open a Jamboard by it. We'll learn about it in the next few slides. Moving on, so the various options that appeared while we clicked on the vertical dots. So the one of them was changing background. So why do you need to change a background? What does it offer to you? So Google Meet offers you some default background images which you can apply at your background. You can also see these two tiles. So these two tiles enable you to blur your background. So during this pandemic, when a teacher needs to take a class from his or her home, it's not always that you have a designated space for taking that class. And you might not want to show what's in your background. Maybe the people moving around or maybe some sort of a furniture. So if you blur your background or put a display picture from all of these, then just your face would be visible to the students. Thus, they would be able to focus on what you are saying rather than looking at your background. It further makes your class more engaging, fun, and interactive. Next, using a whiteboard. So what is a whiteboard? Just like we have blackboards in a school where we can write something and teach a concept to students, we have this facility in Google Meet. Whiteboard is also known as Jamboard. So you have two options to open this whiteboard in a Google Meet. First, you can either click on this shape-like button and click on this whiteboarding, or you can select these three dots and from there you can choose using whiteboard. So whiteboard offers you multiple options. Say for example, you can draw something, you can insert an image, you can write something. It basically provides you a space where you can brainstorm ideas with your students and explain them a lecture in a more effective way. This blackboard is available to all the students and all the participants of that meet. And you can further download it and share it at a later point of time. Moving to the next part is changing layout. So Google Meet offers you that you can change the layout of your Google Meet. So what does layout means? Layout basically means what is there on the screen. So say for example, Google Meet provides you 4 options: auto, tiled, spotlight, and slide bar. So this option that is used for auto, herein the Google Meet decides for itself which layout would be the best for you. The next one is tiled. Herein, all the students would appear in a tiled fashion. You can see the scroll bar in the below of the screen. So using the scroll bar, you can minimize or maximize the number of tiles that are being displayed on the screen. That is, you can keep a check on the number of students that are currently visible on your screen. Next layout is Spotlight. So with the help of Spotlight, you can easily focus on the presenter or the speaker of the session. Next, Sidebar. With the help of Sidebar, the maximum space is allocated to the speaker or the person you have pinned up, and some of the space is offered to rest of the participants. So these different layout options help you focus on your children and the students that you are teaching. Say for example, you are delivering a lesson and you want to see all the participants of the meet. So you can choose, it would be better if you choose a tile layout. And for example, if some student is giving you a presentation, then it would be better that you choose a spotlight layout. So this is how layout works. Moving on to the next part, that is adding captions. Now, sometimes we have difficulty in understanding the audio because of various disturbances around us. So Google Meet offers you this feature. Here you can see captions. So when you click on it, then the captions will appear on the bottom of the screen, thus making it very easy to understand what the other person is saying. So, till now we have discussed about Google Meet. The best point about Google Meet is it has a very simple interface. It is very easy to use and you just need to have a hands-on experience on it and you'll be good to go. The next, we would be discussing about Google Classroom. Google Classroom is basically a learning platform. So, what is Google Classroom? It is a free web service
Excuse me,
developed.
Neha.
Yes.
Sorry, your voice is a little low. So if you could just talk loudly, we can hear you more clearly.
Okay, Vaishnavi. Thank you. So, what is Google Classroom? Google Classroom is a free web service developed by Google for schools that aim to simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments. It helps you integrate with Google Documents, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Gmail, and Calendar into a cohesive platform to manage student and teacher communication. The primary purpose of Google Classroom is to streamline the process of sharing files between teachers and students. In this image, you can see how does a Google Classroom look like. Now let's explore further as to what are the different options and features that Google Classroom can provide to a teacher and how it can ease down your burden. So now I would be showing you a video wherein I have explored the various features and the options that is available by Google Classroom.
So this is the screen that you will see once you log into Google Classroom from your ID. Here you can see there's a class that I've already created named as class 5th. But what if you want to join an existing class or create a new one? So click on this plus. Now there's an option to join a class. Here and you have to enter the class code. I'll tell you later how to retrieve this. Next, we have an option to create a class. Here, a pop-up is being displayed. It basically says that the school must sign up for a free Google Workspace for education. I'll check this box and click on continue. Herein, I have to fill all the relevant details pertaining to that class, such as the class name, the section, the subject, and the room. Once I've filled all these details, I can create a new class. As I've already created one, let's explore all the options that Google.
So till now we have understood how we created a class using Google Classroom. Now, once the class has been created, we'll further understand what's in it for us and what are the different features that are available once a class is created.
Classroom provides us with. Here you can see 4 tabs: Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. So first of all, let's see what Stream offers us. So Stream is a place where we can communicate with the class. I can post announcements and respond to students' posts. So we have a couple of options here. So if you, for example, you have to announce something to your class, you'll click here. Now, while posting something new from scratch, we have multiple options. Like if we want to show it to certain number of students, that is, all the students should view it or a subset of it. Next, we can add any sort of attachments to it, like Google Drive, link, file, YouTube. Next, after once we have written something here, we can even schedule the post. Now, while scheduling it, we have to mention the date and time. So this is how you can create a new announcement and even schedule it. Google Classroom offers you another easy way to reuse your post. Say, for example, you have to make certain amends but don't have to write it all over again. So, here is the option of reusing the post. You can click here, select the one which you want to reuse, click on reuse, and then make amends accordingly. You can even schedule this post as well. So, this is how you reuse a post. Stream page is pretty handy and helps in communicating with students easily. Next, we move to classwork. Classwork is used for organizing topics, assignments, and questions for your classes. There are many options available, like what do you want to create? Do you want to create an assignment, a quiz assignment, a question, a material, reuse a previous post, or a topic? Now, I want to create an assignment, so I can mention the title, I can mention the instructions, say, for example, the time duration, maybe. I have the same option of adding any of the following links. I can further create a sheet, a document, a drawing, Google Slides, and even forms. Next, we can see for ourselves if what we want to keep as a target audience. Is it for the whole of the class or a subset of students? Next, we can make it as graded or ungraded. We can select ungraded if we don't want to grade a student, and we can mention the points if we want the assignment to be graded. We can further set the timeline of the assignment, that is the due date and the due time. So this is how you can post an assignment, and even schedule this assignment by clicking on the schedule option. Now, Classwork also provides you with two of the other options. One is Class Drive folder. So this basically carries a folder that is created in the Google Drive of your mail ID that is associated with this classroom. You can put in all the documents here. Next is the Google Calendar that contains a schedule of all the events. Now we'll explore the page of people. So here is the list of teachers and the students that are associated with this class. You can add as many colleagues, as many teachers that you want here, and you can invite as many students as you want. So this is how you invite a student. You can plug in the email ID of that student and send the invite. Now, if you want, there is another way of inviting a student. Go to settings. Here you can see class code. So if someone wants to join an existing class, he can put this class code. Moving to the next tab, that is grades. So grades is the place where a teacher can grade all the students of a class. It will automatically calculate the class average. This is basically how you are keeping a report of the students that are in your class.
I hope that you were able to understand what Google Classroom is like. So Google Classroom is basically provides you a one-stop solution for all the tools that you need in your classroom while dealing with students. Starting from making an announcement to giving an assignment to grading a student, everything is possible with Google Classroom. I hope that video was useful to get some decent insights about Google Classroom. The next question many of you would have be having right now would be, is our school eligible for Google Classroom? Can we use it? Can we implement it? So here is the answer to all your questions. Google Classroom is available to all the schools using Google Workspace for Education or individuals over 13 years of age with personal Google accounts. The next question that would come into your mind is, what is Google Workspace for Education and does our school has it? And why do we require it? So, to use Classroom with students at a school, the school must sign up for a free Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals account. Post that, the school can decide which Google services their teachers and students can use. Google Classroom being one of them. So, how do your school qualify for Google Workspace for Education? So, it is applicable for all K-12 and higher institutions that are government recognized, formally accredited educational institutions that are delivering nationally or internationally approved certifications at primary, secondary, or third level. The institution applying for Google Workspace for Education must submit their application to proceed further. Once the application has been approved, then you can get access to Google Classroom. So, till now, we have learned about Google Meet and Google Classroom. It's pretty difficult to understand it just in a single go. Obviously, everyone needs a hands-on experiment with it to further explore all the features. But till now, what we have learned? We have learned that Google Classroom gives everyone access to material no matter where they are because everything is present online. It enhances communication with the students with respect to assignments and discussions. With a simple workflow, teachers are able to manage a student's work in an efficient manner at a single place. Talking about Google Meet, it provides an easy way to connect with students. Because of its easy interface and simple to use tools, it can be highly recommended for all the teachers for virtual classrooms. Such tools help teachers and students become and stay engaged in the learning process. It further assists teachers in acing the online teaching and reduces the burden on them. So, after understanding Google Meet and Google Classroom, we'll head on to our last tool, that is Kahoot. So, this is an add-on tool that will help you make your classes more engaging, more fun for the students. So, what is Kahoot? Kahoot is basically a game-based learning platform. It helps you in making different types of quizzes with audio and visuals in it. Thus, students like playing such games, and you can easily test the students and access their reports. So, let's understand what does Kahoot offers all the teachers. First of all, while opening your browser, you can enter Kahoot in the search bar and click on the first link that appears. Now, Kahoot offers a basic package that is free of cost. In this package, teachers can create Kahoots with quiz questions, host and play Kahoots with students, assign student-based challenges, and around 100 students are allowed in a single game. So, after opening the Kahoot application, you just need to log in with your username and password. Then, if you don't have an existing account, you can sign up for it. The process is really easy. You just need to have an email. Next, once you have logged into Kahoot, here is an option to create a new Kahoot. Once you click create, we'll be directed to this screen. Now, what is this screen? So, when you're making a quiz for your students, you need to have certain questions and options to choose from. Now, this is how it will go. First of all, here we'll enter the title for the Kahoot that will appear on yours as well as your student's screen. Next, we'll add the question here, the question that you want the students to answer. Next, we can add a relevant image based on the question or the options to make it more engaging with the students. Obviously, students like images and videos around it. Next, we can set the time limit for the question. That is, how much time are you giving the students to answer that particular question? You can also add the score for each question that you put in that quiz. Next, you have the option to either have a single choice quiz or a multiple option select quiz. Here, you'll put on all the options from which the students have to choose and mark the right one. Once you are done with it, you will click done. And the screen will somewhat appear like this. Once you have pressed on the button done, this screen will appear. Now, after you get the screen, you will share it with others. Now, while sharing, Kahoot provide you a number of options as there are multiple integrated tools with Kahoot. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, Mail, Cloud are some of the ways with which you can share this quiz with the students. And if you don't use any one of these, you can simply copy this URL and share it with your students. Once you have shared it and closed this pop-up, you can start the game. Now, when the game starts, a game pin will appear at your screen like this, 694443. This is the game pin for that particular quiz that you have just made right now. Now, you'll also share this game pin with the students. The link that you have earlier shared with the students will go on to that link and enter the pin. After entering the pin, they have to enter their name. Once they have entered their name, they'll press OK, go. Once every student has done this procedure, your screen would somewhat appear like this with the name of the students who have entered go. So these are the students that are currently in this game, and the game will start once you press start. So after you have clicked on start to begin the quiz, the students will see a question on their screen along with the multiple choice options that you have allotted in the beginning. Now, some of the students will answer while others will not. And from those who have answered, some might be right, some might be wrong. So, say for example, Aman selected the right option. So, his screen would appear somewhat like this. Next, if Soumya selected the incorrect option, her screen would appear like this. Further, on the teacher's screen, you will get this bar. So what does this bar shows you? This shows you that how many students marked which options. Say for example, here, one student marked this option and one student marked this option. So when you press this next, such a screen will appear. So this is basically a podium which will calculate the one per student who has ranked first, who has ranked second, and who has ranked third according to the answers that they have selected and the time they have taken. So Kahoot basically helps you engage students, increase participation, and assess learning. So how do you check the reports for the students? Now, if you click on the summary option, you'll see that 50% of the students were correct. You will get to know how many players, that is, how many students played your quiz, how many questions were there, what was the time limit, and it will also tell you the students who need help. The student who needs help basically means the student who answered the options incorrectly. Some of the students who might not be able to answer the question in the stipulated time, those names will come here. That is, they didn't finish the quiz. Next, if we click on the Players tab, we'll get a list of all the players, that is, all the students who played that quiz along with their ranks. So this is what Kahoot offers you, an engaging way to help your students learn what has been taught in the class lecture. You can also use Kahoot at the end of every lecture of yours to assess whether the student was attentive during that session or not. It just takes a few minutes, and that's all. You're ready to go. So, till now, we have learned a lot about Google Meet, Google Classroom, and Kahoot. So, let us also look at the other different tools and compare what are the different features that they have to offer us. Talking about Kahoot, although tracking the students' progress is a bit complex process in Kahoot, but it does provide you with a lot of engagement with the help of audio and visual. It also provide good images for you to make your content look more beautified. Next, Google Classroom. Although the interface is not much appealing to the students because there's some lack of images and media, but again, when it comes to a teacher, it is the best tool to organize and integrate your documents and assignments. It is basically a one-stop solution for everything that you need to ace your virtual classes. Next, Google Forms. Although the design customization is pretty limited in Google Form, but it provides an easy way to collect data. So you can easily collect data and have analysis over it. Next, Google Meet. So in Google Meet, you cannot drag and drop in the chat box any files, but then it is a very simple to use tool. It provides a very simple interface that is pretty easy to learn and communicate with your students. Next, Zoom. The quality of video and audio is unpredictable when it comes to Zoom conferences because sometimes it's very good and sometimes it's very poor. But then the recording support that is available in free plans will help you record all your lectures and give it to the students who are absent on a particular day. Next, Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is again one of the platforms wherein you can communicate and collaborate with the students, but it uses too much space and memory at your desktop. But it also consists of a lot of functionalities and tools, say for example, channels, chatbots, video conferencing, audio conferencing, and multiple in-chat message options. At the end, WebEx. So the website version is weaker of WebEx as compared to its app version. But then the high quality of audio and video that it offers is exceptional. I believe that this all details of the different platforms that can is quite useful when it comes to you using it in the virtual classrooms. I believe that this will help you while dealing with the students and making the classes more interactive, thereby reducing your burden. I hereby conclude this session by saying that I hope that you had gathered some great insights from this session and would now feel more confident around technology. And if you have any queries, you need not worry. Rare Minds is here to help you around every time. So stay connected with us through our Telegram groups and we'll assist you in any teaching assignments or if your school needs any digital model. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, Neha ma'am. And thank you everyone for participating actively and making this workshop a successful one. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We'll also be floating feedback forms soon. So please do fill them so that we can make your experience a much better one. Also, Neha, here are some quick questions if you could answer them.
Okay.
The they were asking if I want to add some more Kahoots, what is the procedure?
Yeah, so basically, you just have to log into your account. There, you can create different groups, and in that different groups, you have different Kahoots. So you can create any number of Kahoots and any number of questions in those Kahoots.
Right. Thank you, Neha. And another question is it possible to type in Hindi language?
In Kahoot, you are asking?
I think yes, that's what they meant because that was the topic going on at that time.
Okay, so like as of now, it's only English medium as far as I know, but we'll get back onto you if the Hindi thing is allowed there.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Neha. Okay, lastly, for regular updates, I would request all of you to join our Telegram groups wherein we have the teachers and principals of various schools, and also we keep updating our regular sessions and events that Rare Minds organizes. So I request you all, I've put the link, Telegram link in the group, in the chat. Please do join the group. Thank you. Another question here is, can we have a report of all the Kahoots of all students at a time?
Yes, so basically, when you start a quiz, like after your quiz is ended, you can check into the reports column, and there all the students' list would appear with the whether they have answered it correctly or not. So yeah, you can get the list.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Neha. Yes,
Thank you, Rashmi.
uh, I think we will get that Google. I think so Subhashini ma'am will be uploading the link of this video on the YouTube, right? So I think we will get it there.
It's already on the YouTube and it's already shared. The link is shared.
Thank you. I would request all of you to please switch on your video so that we can have a good picture of everyone here.
Vaishnavi, can the feedback links be sent now?
I'll check, ma'am, if it can be sent. Ma'am, did we have the pictures?
Yeah, there are a lot of people just opening up their videos, so just give it a few seconds.
Sure. I would encourage all of you to please turn on your videos for just 2 minutes so that we can have a picture.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
I've added the feedback link.
Yeah. Feedback form link is in the chat box. I would request everyone to fill the feedback form before they leave the session. The feedback form because it really encourages us and also make the sessions better once we go ahead and organize more sessions like this. I would also request all of you to join the Telegram group link wherein we post daily updates, and also a lot of informative sessions are coming up. So I would request you all to join this group as well. I'm posting the link again in the chat box. Everyone for joining us today. We have come to the end of the workshop. Thank you, everyone.